Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to Oxygen for the Soul. This week's Parashat Ki Tesse, Ki Tetze LaMilchama. So let's read the first pasuk and let's see if we can walk away with some insight. Ki Tetze, Torah reading. Here we go. It says pasuk reads as follows: Ki Tetze LaMilchama. If Ki Tetze LaMilchama, if you go out to war, al oivyecha, against your enemies. Hashem Elokecha biyadcha, and God will deliver you into their hands, them into your hands. V'shivit shivio, right? And you take his captives. Okay, so let's try to break down this pasuk, and let's see if we can walk away with some depth, some insight. Rashi says, Ki Tetze Milchama. We're talking about over here Milchemet Rashut. Right? There are different kinds of war. There's Milchemet Mitzvah and Milchemet Rashut. There's a mitzvah to go ahead and conquer parts of the land of Israel. And then there's Milchemet Rashut, which is, we have a responsibility to defend our country or other circumstances as well. It's a very deep, complicated halachic matter as to how we figure out what this is. And therefore, I don't want to get into that. V'shivit shivyo, and you're going to take captives. You're going to go to war and you're going to have to take captives. So there's a double language over here. And he says over here, Larbota Knanim Shebetochov Af Al Pi Shehem Mishuvet Umot. Right? You're going to take captives, even though they are from the 7 nations. Now, we know that this pasuk opens up the possibility to, the idea of a Eshet Yafat To'ar, finding a woman in the battlefield that you want to take as a prisoner, and you want to marry her, and so on and so forth. And that's, I'm sure you've all heard about that. But I want to focus on something a little bit different in this pasuk. So it opens up with, the Parsha opens up with this theme of battle. Let's go to war. Okay, but it says it when you, right? Ki tetze lemilchama, when you, in the plural, will go out to battle with your enemy, and Hashem will deliver, Hashem Elokecha b'yadecha, right? And it's going to give you your enemy in his hands in the singular. This is a strange thing. Well, the pasuk itself is often translated as with your enemy, but the Torah actually uses al, which literally means upon or over your enemy. And this is not an accident, okay? There's no accidents here. Moshe is trying to give you something deep and very profound over here. Remember, we're in the month of Elul. The month of Elul is one of the most profound times for growth and change. It's the end of the year, at the end of the calendar, last month in the calendar. There are 40 days. 40 represents all kinds of transformation. 40 represents the 40 days for conception, from conception to fetus. 40 days for the soul to emerge in the body. 40 days where Moses is standing on the mountain, bringing down the tablets. 40 days going back for the second tablets, getting forgiveness for the Jewish people. 40 is a number of transformation, creation, and so on and so forth. Okay? And we are in a 40-day period right now from Elul until the 10th of Tishrei, the 10th day of Tishrei, which is Yom HaKippur, the day of ultimate forgiveness. Now, all of most of this Parshat Devarim, at the end, where Moshe is giving his farewell, words and his words of inspiration to the Jewish people, this is happening in the month of Elul. So we know that these are the words that are going to be read during this month, and then it's not an accident over here. So while the pasuk tells us that you are going to go into battle, which is in plural, and then concludes in the end in the singular, it is obvious, I think, and clear the pasuk is speaking about a collective external enemy, and also an internal personal enemy. Okay, and the pasuk often does this, and it's not an accident. The reason why the pasuk is doing this is it's giving you stacking up information. On the one hand, yeah, you're going to go out to war. You're going to have to go out and fight the Hamases of the world and the Hezbollahs of the war. But there's another kind of battle that's happening that's unseen. There's an unseen battle, and that's the battle within. There's an inner battle, an inner fight that each of us are going through every single moment, every single day. So what does it mean to do battle knowing that you are over your enemy? Al oivyecha. Well, I would say that number one is that from a literal and maybe even external sense, to be above your enemy means that your army is on a high ground. You have a higher position than they are, and so on and so forth. But inwardly and personally, it means that you have a a sense that you are above your enemy, above your challenges, above the problems, above the circumstances. You may have a struggle, but you're standing above the struggle, right? And that's how you go into battle. You go into battle with a certain sense of being victorious. I am already above my enemy and will certainly emerge the victor. I will win. I'm going to succeed. When we do battle with our inner selves, our inner insecurities, our inner challenges, okay, we have three options. We either can approach it as a challenge of, the challenge or the adversary, the opponent, as if they are in control of us, or we can approach it as if we are equals on our battlefield. And lastly, number three, you can approach it as if you already won because you're in control of it. You have the situation under control. Now, even when we do battle on an even playing field, it's always going to be difficult, right? Because if you're going to go out and you're going to wrestle with someone who's filthy and stinky, you're going to get soiled and stinky and filthy yourself. And therefore, complete success is much more likely when you and I are able to recognize that we already are above the person that we're fighting. We're not like them. When we engage in any kind of struggle, we have to visualize ourselves as essentially being above the struggle itself. And that is how we overcome our inner struggle. Now, we're always dealing with all kinds of things, imperfections, deficiencies, weaknesses, but yet there is another part of us, and this is what the month of Elul is to remind you, that is perfect, whole, holy, and strong. There's a struggle within us, and that struggle, while it is real, that struggle is the part of the righteous tzaddik, the pintala neshama, that beautiful spark of holiness that is unchanging. Our perfection is deeper than our imperfection, and our perfection is a truer expression of our imperfection, because you are a spark of the infinite. Do you understand that? You were created from the infinite. You're great. So when you're faced with some kind of deep challenge or some kind of temptation, you can either try to meet it head on, or you can stop for a moment and envision yourself standing above, beyond, as the victorious warrior, the master, the king of the situation. So let's say, for example, a person is struggling with time management, yeah, and you find yourself being pulled down into wasting time, and you're frustrated because you've spent so many attempts at overcoming this particular challenge. So the two ways of dealing with the struggle. Number one is a meditate, and think deeply about think deeply about how many times you've lost that precious opportunities of time, right? Meet the problem, think about the problem head on, okay? There's all kinds of risk that focusing on the negative won't bring success. And that's been my personal experience. When you're always thinking about the things that are going to go wrong, you deflate yourself and you lose the energy necessary to accomplish your unique goal. Or you can stop. You can think about the times where you were tempted. Think about the times where you were, wasted your time, but decided against it. There are times where you're victorious. You don't highlight the times that you failed. You highlight the times that you actually accomplished, that you focused on, that the focus is on the success. That feeling of success brings in the good feeling. It brings in all that emotion, that energy that you need into the whole entire process of change. Stop thinking about the negative things. Start focusing on that sense of overcoming, being on top of, winning. Recognize and do some deep affirmation that deep inside, you are, my friends, above this struggle. And that's how you become the master of your struggles. And that's how you master your problems. Listen, I would argue that it's healthier and more productive to visualize and focus on the perfect aspects of yourselves rather than identifying the struggler, the one that's always failing. See yourself essentially as a tzaddik, and then live up to that image. Why can't we go ahead and spend more time imagining what it truly means to be the best of ourselves? There are 4 very crucial steps, I believe, to change. Okay? I've spoken at this whole entire week, and it's definitely worth repeating it here because not everyone has been around to actually hear this. So let's say it like this, okay? You have number one, a visualization of what it means for you to express the best of you. What does the best version of yourself actually look like? Have a picture in your mind's eye. Relate to the tzaddik in you. Think about what it means to be the best you possible. Number two, ask yourself, what are the things that held you back from actually expressing that best part of who you are? Number three, ask God for the strength to overcome the struggles so that you could actually actualize number one. Number four, this is super important. You need to believe, Yeshuat Hashem Keharfan, you need to believe that God will help you accomplish your goals. And that's what it means over here, that God will put you the master over your enemies, right? If you read that pasuk again, read it slowly. Ki Tetze lemilchama, when you go out to fight your enemies, no Hashem elokecha biyadcha. Hashem will deliver your enemy in your hands. That's what he's saying. When you go out and you recognize that you are the master, you're above the situation that you find yourself in, you will have that ability to accomplish your unique goals. You will overcome the Yetzer. We're in the month of Elul. Rabbi Salanter says that in the month of Elul, people would hear that the month of Elul is coming in and they'd faint. That's the month that we're in right now. This month is filled with so much potential. It's about recognizing the now. Right now, we have the ability of making a change. Forget about the past. God does not live in the past. God is infinite, and he is thinking very deeply about how he can give you everything that you need so that you could accomplish your unique task in this world. And therefore, when you find yourself struggling with the struggles, when you start identifying yourself as a failure, the loser, you've already lost. The Yetzer Hara has won. When you go out to battle with your Yetzer Hara and you want to win, you have to see yourself winning first. Visualize the success. Ask God for the strength to overcome the challenge. Number three, number two is identify with what are the things that are holding you back. Ask God for the strength. And then number four is believe. You have to believe that change can happen. If you start believing that you can't grow and you can't change and the situation that you're in is forever locked, you will forever, God forbid, be locked in a situation that is hopeless. Hopeless people that are depressed, people that are focused on the negativity, they cannot and will not change or grow. Negativity is a way of sapping your energy out. And you want to be someone who gets zapped, who's zapping yourself, who's being filled with electricity and the power and the energy necessary to accomplish the goals. That is what this parasha is about. And it moves on. It talks about the Eshet Yafat To'ar. It talks about the wayward son, Ben Sora Morer. All of the whole entire parasha should be not read as external things, but try to find a way of weaving in the ideas of the parasha and making it personal. Are you externally looking for things that may hold you back? Are you looking for those superficial things, the beautiful woman that you've captured, or the thing that the Yetzer Hara is putting in front of you like a beautiful woman that's drawing you away from the things you're focusing? Or are you the wayward son who hasn't heard the voice of his parents? Are you not looking for meaning? Are you not looking for depth? Pasha is asking you, my friends, to think more deeply about the battles we wage in this world. When you are able to truly focus on those things, and you have that picture in your mind's eye, we will be matzliach. I have to make it a little shorter today. I want to wish all of you a Shabbat Shalom Mevarach. May Hashem bless us with the clarity to remember that the key to success with our inner struggles is to remember that you are the master of those struggles. It is not a master of you. May you be blessed with that clarity, live that clarity, express the best of you. May we all see Mashiach. May our soldiers be safe, and those that are taken captive be returned soon to their families. Wishing you all Shabbat Shalom. Thank you so much for listening. See you next week, Bezrat Hashem.